participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu Alaikum. Peace be upon you to all. Welcome to this very special gathering today. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the Kayabal and Jarwa people, the traditional custodians of the land where we are meeting today. And I pay my respect to all elders, past, present, and emerging, as they hold the memories, traditions, and the culture of this land. Before we start, the gentle housekeeping reminder: in case of any emergency, we'll use this exit as well as this one, but our assembly point is the outside there. That's the east of this building. Also, our restrooms are at the back, separated with the sign for men and women. At first, I would like to invite our Imam of this Garden City Mosque, Imam Muhammad Aminul Islam, to recite some verses from the Holy Qur'an. Imam Muhammad Aminul Islam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, mercy and blessings of God be upon all of you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الناس إن كنتم في ريب من البعث فإنا خلقناكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم من مضغة مخلقة وغير مخلقة لنبين لكم ونقر في الأرحام ما نشاء إلى أجل مسمى ثم نخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ومنكم من يتوفى ومنكم من يرد إلى أرذل العمر لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم شيئا وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل زوج بهيج. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. We have recited 3 verses from the Holy Qur'an. The first verse from chapter 2, chapter 4, verse number 1. The translation, O mankind, be conscious of your Lord, who created you from one single soul, and He created from it its mate, and dispersed from both of them many men and women. Be conscious of the God by whom you ask one another, and be conscious of the blood relations. Indeed, He is ever over all of you and observer. The second verse we have recited from chapter 22, verse number 5. O humankind, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, then take heed that indeed we have created you from dust, then from nutfa, which is drop of sperm, then from a clinging clot, then from a lump of flesh, formed and unformed, so that we can show you our might, our power, and we settle in the wombs, whom we will for a specified term. Then we bring you out as a child. Then we develop you that you may reach the time of maturity, full of strength. And among you is he who is taken in early death, and among you is he who is returned to the most decrepit old age, so that he knows, after having much knowledge, there is nothing. And you see the barren earth, but when we send down upon it rain, it quivers, swells, and grows, something of every beautiful kind. The third verse we have recited from chapter 49, verse number 13. O humankind, indeed we have created you from one single pair of male and female, Adam and Eve, and we made you into tribes and nations, so that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of God, the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing and all-acquainted. Thank you.
Thank you, Imam Muhammad Aminul Islam. My name is Mainul Islam. I'm your MC today. At this stage, I invite Her Excellency the Honourable Dr. Jeannette Young, PSM, to speak to you all, to us all. Thank you.
I would like to make some acknowledgements to start. So the member for Toowoomba South, the Honourable Mr. David Jeannette, MP. Member for Toowoomba North, the Honourable Mr. Trevor Watts, MP. The Federal Member for Broome, the Honourable Garth Hamilton, MP. The Mayor of Toowoomba, Councillor Paul Antonio, and his councillors. The Imam Recites Islam of Garden City Mosque. Reverend Bishop Robert McGuckin, of the Catholic Diocese of Toowoomba, the President of the Islamic Society of Toowoomba, Professor Dr. Shahjahan, all the other many distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen here today. I would like to begin by acknowledging the original custodians of the lands on which we gather here in Toowoomba, the Western Waka Waka, Giabal and Jaraware people, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. It is a great pleasure to be with you today in Toowoomba's beautiful Garden City Mosque, a sacred place of worship and fellowship for the Muslim community in the Darling Downs region and beyond. Although your mosque is built from bricks and mortar, it is the heart, spirit and courage of the people who saw it constructing following those devastating dual arson attacks in 2015 that makes it an even more special place. I'm so delighted to see what has been achieved as a result of incredible determination and commitment, with the funds and the passion to see it completed coming from far and wide. Today it stands proud and strong, a testament to those of the Islamic faith and the resilience and commitment of this community. In particular, it's a tribute to the vision and drive of Professor Khan, who I know, after speaking to him this morning, has done so much over many years for your community as founder of the Toowoomba Islamic Society and as a respected academic at the University of Southern Queensland. Professor Khan has been instrumental in fostering greater understanding and appreciation of Islam in Toowoomba, and I commend him for his truly remarkable contribution. However, this has been a collective effort, and the fact that 5,000 people attended the Mosque Open Day and Food Festival at the University of Southern Queensland just 2 days after that second devastating fire shows that an appalling event such as this can unite rather than divide, if you met it. Today, the doors of this mosque are open to everyone, irrespective of faith, welcoming all to experience the richness that cultural diversity brings. I'm sure, as yours is the only mosque, I understand, between Brisbane and the vast western parts of our state, you will continue to welcome many new worshippers and visitors. I wish you every success as you celebrate the completion of your mosque, and pay my respects to the board, executive committee and all supporters, particularly those who have been in the project management team and supported that team. I thank you very much for your kind welcome and hospitality as I look forward to enjoying some of that wonderful food you have graciously prepared, and I look forward to speaking to you all over lunch. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Her Excellency, Honourable Dr. Jeannette Young, PSM, for her very valuable speech that will be in our memory all the time. Now, at this stage, Professor Shahjahan Khan, the founding and current president of Islamic Society of Toowoomba, is being invited to introduce the Toowoomba Mosque and the local Muslim community through his brief presentation. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most gracious. Salaam, Alaikum, peace be upon you. And please extend very warm welcome to Her Excellency the Honourable Dr. Jeannette Young, PSM, in the Garden City Mosque. And it is an absolute honor for us to welcome Her Excellency the Governor in this mosque. Like everybody else, I want to pay my respect to the traditional custodian of the land on which we live and work, and acknowledge the contributions that have been made by their elders, past, present, and emerging. I'm going to Toowoomba, Muslims started living in Toowoomba to our record 1891. It's quite a long time ago. It took more than 120 plus years to have a mosque. Now this Abdul Ahab Kaus later on moved to Holland Park. The Holland Park Mosque is the oldest mosque in Queensland. It was built in 1908, 2 years before this building was built. We know in Toowoomba, Muslim lived in early 70s. Many of you know Alan Bruce and Amal Bruce. Alan was our colleague at USQ, head of visual arts, and Amal was the head of English language in Tep College. May God bless them both. Islamic Society was founded in 1984. That time we wanted to have a mosque, but it took more than 25 years to get a mosque. Now, because of the time short, I'm not going to give all the details. We were looking for a place of worship for a long time, but we ended up purchasing this church because building a place of worship is not easy according to the city council requirement. It needs a lot of things. So we found it easier to purchase a place of worship and use it to meet our needs. Now, when we bought this property, we bought it $820,000. But initially, when we started the project, we had about $25,000 on our account. So we had to do a huge fundraising to buy this property. And after we purchased it, we had an opening ceremony of this mosque. You can see some of the very familiar faces in Toowoomba. From the top left, John McVeigh, our good friend and federal MP, was a minister as well with Honourable Malcolm Turnbull. And then we have Ian McFarlane. He was a minister at that time as well. He's doing a great job in Queensland at the moment. And then we have the bishop. You see in the front lines, third from the left. And at that time, the mayor was not available, so sent this councillor. He's sitting beside the bishop. And we have the Aboriginal elder, Brother Darby. Everybody miss him. He was so popular in the community. So the whole community gathered together to open this mosque. And we declared the mosque to be open for everybody. We have regular meeting with the neighbors, afternoon tea and so on, and big events we invite them. Unfortunately, 1 year after we established this mosque, the first fire burning happened just here in this place, under the cable, and it was burned. And one thing I want to make on record, and I have been doing that, the cost of repairing the first burn attack was paid by not the Muslims, by the churches in Toowoomba. Robert is one of them, and Cameron is another one. This is an example. The community care for people, regardless of the so-called differences. And after the fire, a lot of people turn up to the mosque. You see some of them here from all aspects of life to express sympathy. And the man in the middle sitting, Brian Sparkman, you probably know many of them. He's the pioneer of multi-faith, multicultural, whatever you call it, Toowoomba. He's the one who started the whole thing. He united not only the non-Christians with the Christians, but also he also united the different denominations of Christianity, Toowoomba churches together. Very respected man. He's currently in the nursing home. God bless him. On the 17th of April, the bad thing happened, the worst thing happened. Mosque was burned beyond repair. As you can see, some of the photos, it's really painful, pathetic. But as the Honourable Excellency the Honour said, that it did not divide the community, it united. And that's the strength of humanity. That the evil doesn't unite, but good thing does unite. The minister at that time, police minister, Milan, and then our mayor and the state member of parliament condemned that. This photo I share many times because this lady came the day after the Mosque was born with timber and nail and hammer and waiting in the entrance there to help Muslims to rebuild this small mosque. Inspirational, indeed. Then in the function that we had 2 days after the mosque was born in the university, again you see the Anglican bishop and Catholic bishop standing one behind the other. So it's amazing that all community, the Vice Chancellor, second from the right, Professor Jeannette, who actually brought me here first time to see the property, whether we can buy this to make it a mosque. So there's a rich history of Toowoomba Muslims engaging with their community, wider community. The former Bishop William Morris was a good friend of us, and long before we purchased the property, I mentioned about the Toowoomba is a mosque, and immediately he said, I will help you. And that from his heart, not just pretending. Okay, so the challenges that the leaders has faced so far here is too much to mention, but you can see some of them here. Far-right extremism and radicalism and racism is a reality in human society, but we should not let it overtake the goodness, and that's what we are here all together. Australia is a proud success of multiculturalism. I promote that not only in Toowoomba and Australia, beyond. I organized a conference in Malaysia on multiculturalism in the International Islamic University to promote multiculturalism in the diverse community like Malaysia. So, the Muslims, as Muslims here, we engage with wider community very often. We help the refugees and the poor. We have interfaith and multicultural events in the mosque and in the cities. We help the victims of DV and we educate the community, organize workshop. We supported the firefighters when the fire almost burned their places in Toowoomba and the victims of bushfire. We raised funds to help the COVID victims here in Toowoomba. We raised more than $8,000 and helped the people who did not qualify for government handouts. We help people overseas as well when chemical explosion happened in Lebanon. We raised funds to help them. And our community gathered in various disastrous situations, man-made and human-made as well. So this is the picture of the mosque. When it's finished, it will look like this. But it started with this. Our carpet is going to look like this. This is very similar to what is in the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. And you can also see the photo of the chandelier that is on the way from China at the moment. We don't fight with China all the time, and something we need China. This is the car parking. That's the most important part that you can see. And this is going to look like the landscaping. I hope this mosque will be part of the Toowoomba Carnival of Flower. So when people come from outside to see Toowoomba, this will be one of the showcases. And we work with this different departments and organizations as we face the COVID-19. Her Excellency was every day the most worst person during the COVID. In the morning, people would not look for the premier or other politician. They look for the chief health officer and what she will say. We don't care anything else but what comes from her. So we did organize 2 camps in our mosque. So that was something we think that everybody should have been doing. And then we organized a job from Toowoomba has now no unemployment rate. People get from a job from outside Toowoomba but no accommodation. That's another crisis that Toowoomba is going through. So we help local people to get a job in our community. We also organize the blood donation. This is absolutely important. One of the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that God did not create any disease without its cure. So every disease has a cure, but we human beings have to find it out. And the scientists did hard work to find the vaccine and so on and so forth, help them. I invite you on the biggest event of this mosque annual event. This is the 9th one. That's on the 25th of June, Saturday. I'm sure there will be much more diversity of food in that one than this one. And a lot more people enjoy the company and so on. I'll finish with these words here. Your Excellency, your visit is a celebration of the resilience and unity of the Toowoomba community. Celebration of rebuilding a place of worship from ashes and mending the wound and reaffirming the unity of the residents of Toowoomba. Celebrating of a regional city leading for peace and harmony with dignity and respect. Excellency, your presence in a mosque that was burned twice is a mark of rejection of hate and evil. Your visit to the Garden City Mosque is an honor and prestige to the people of Toowoomba and more so for the Muslims. You are leading the state, while leading the state at the most difficult time to face the pandemic COVID-19. And we believe you will also lead Queensland to face any fear of division, discrimination, hate, racism, and radicalization in our communities through the spread of the voice of love, respect, unity, and humanity. And I always proudly mention this, that what we think about the people who spread hate, not love, racism, not humanism, violence, not virtue, cruelty, not compassion, divide Australia, not unite. Let's promote they are us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Khan. Still, I would like to request Professor Khan to stay in the dais, and also I would like to request Her Excellency Dr. Jeannette Young to come to have a token gift from us. This is the plaque, and I think Professor Khan will give a little bit brief about the plaque today. Thank you.
This plaque is a token of appreciation for the Honourable Governor for visiting our mosque. This is locally made. It's not China for sure. It's Toowoomba made, and it's also made from northern silky oak, also local timber. So we hope that Governor will accept our little presentation.
Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is another part of our program. Now, if I thank every one of you by looking at the list, it is a long list. So you will be even thinking about why we need to hear this while the lunch is waiting for us. So this is the time, the lunch will now be served, and parallelly I would like to request our President of the Islamic Society of Toowoomba, Professor Shahjahan Khan, to introduce Her Excellency the Honourable Governor to all VIPs and guests. And then with this, I would like to conclude this session. Please enjoy the lunch while you are talking to our Honourable special guest, Chief Guest, Governor of Queensland, Dr. Jeannette Young. Thank you so much, everyone.